You're with Julian on the brown note, and why Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is going to be a 6 out of 10 failure. Oh dear, oh dear. So there's a truism about movies that will never be beaten. Trailers never lie. The thing about a trailer is it immediately gives you the tone of a film. So even though they're really truncated bits, and they're supposed to be the best bits as well, the dialogue and the tone of the acting and the tone of the heaviness of the movie and everything comes through really well in a trailer. Did not, I think it kind of played up to my worst fears in every direction. So one film that I would say was very much well described by its trailer was Tenet, again a Christopher Nolan film that was going to save the world of cinema from COVID. It was a huge event when it came out, but the two trailers leading up to that film led me to believe that the film was going to be a disaster. It really did show that the whole thing was very muddled, jarring, that the concept didn't really come across. It didn't at all. It would have worked better as a book. Visually, it just didn't work, and so on. But virtually every trailer I've ever seen has been an indicator of how good a film is. And obviously Christopher Nolan bounced back with probably the equal best film of his whole career with Oppenheimer. So for me, Christopher Nolan slowly, gradually got worse, but still very good, incrementally after probably Inception, or whichever was, I think Inception was after The Dark Knight. Because Interstellar, much loved as an all-time classic sci-fi film, does have some flaws in it. It's not an altogether outstanding film. Dunkirk was a very, very noble failure. I don't think it particularly worked. I love the fact that he completely changed his style to do so, and the subject matter, I just don't think it worked as a film. And then Tenet was garbage. But he bounced back spectacularly with Oppenheimer. Now, my number one problem, when he announced that he was going to do Homer's The Odyssey, so if you've ever seen the Brad Pitt starring Troy movie, which goes up to the Trojan horse stuff, I think it does. Does it do the Trojan horse thing in that one? It must do, surely. But there's the 10-year Battle of Troy to rescue Helen. Not really rescue her, because she was a prisoner already, just held by different people. That whole Trojan War thing is in the Iliad. Well, not the whole thing, but the Battle of Paris and Achilles. That's in the Iliad. And then 8,000 years ago, or whenever it was supposed to be written, the other book that Homer was famous for was the Odyssey, which features Ulysses, or Odysseus, depending on how you want to say it, traveling home from that war and being waylaid by the gods, and then spending a 10-year journey to try and get back to home and his wife, who's been courted by 100 suitors who Homer then murdered. Ulysses then murders for some reason, which is a bit off. So I have a big problem with the casting of this movie, and it's not the same problem that Elon Musk has, or all of the MAGA people who are appalled that black people are in this film. My problem is this is a historical epic, and I found every time he announced a new cast member, it was a lightweight actor. And I struggle to fit lightweight actors into this kind of film. You look at the acting talent in Troy, which a lot of people disparaged. I think it was great, and I've rewatched it. It's got a lot of flaws, but they're heavyweight actors with a lot of gravity. And same in even something like Lord of the Rings. A lot of them are real heavyweight actors, but I'm looking down the cast list, and Matt Damon, I love Matt Damon. But Matt Damon is a lightweight actor. He's at the top tier. He's a Rolls Royce of lightweight actors, but I don't know that he's the right choice to play Odysseus. Tom Holland definitely isn't. It's like he's gone for people with the biggest Instagram followings. Tom Holland? What the hell's Tom Holland got to do with this? I thought he was okay in that Southern Pot Boiler he did a few years ago. With, again, Robert Pattinson, who's in this. But in general, I found him to be incredibly lightweight. Anne Hathaway's all right. She's a good actress, still underappreciated. As Penelope, no problems there. Robert Pattinson, I think, is a great actor. The most controversial one is Lupita Nyong'o. Now, she is an outstanding, one of the best actresses in the world today. Incredible range on her. From that 12 Years a Slave to the horror film Us to doing the lead character in Wild Robot. She's got a really good range, but she's a very... And Black Panther, of course. She should have been the new Black Panther instead of Shuri. But she's a great actress. I do think that it smelled of being too try-hard to cast her in this role as Helen of Troy. And I don't know why they do it. Why did they set these films up to generate online hate machines that won't leave them alone until the film is out? They will continue to bash this film because of Peter being a black Helen of Troy. It's just unnecessary. Why do it? It's like they're goading their audience. But anyway, a superb actress. But Zendaya, like almost a holy trinity of over prescribed lightweight actors is Zendaya, Tom Holland, and Timothée Chalamet. They just seem to be in everything. But Zendaya, absolutely not seeing her be good in anything. I love Charlize Theron, but I don't see her in this kind of historical epic. John Bernthal can be really good in a lot of crime stuff, but the way he talks, I don't see him in this. Samantha Morton's a very good actress, and Mia Goth is one of my favourites in the whole world. Elliot Page, I have not seen good in anything. I didn't see that Juno film where apparently he was good, but everything I've seen since, no, not at all. So that's a problem for me. It's not one lightweight actor, it's a devoid of heavyweight actors. Like I mentioned in Troy or a lot of the other films, they get these older actors that have enormous gravity and acting ability. And here we've got a raft of populist lightweight people. So the reason I'm doing this is that I just watched the trailer, and trailers never lie, and every fear I had about this film was exacerbated by watching it. I don't recognise Homer in this at all. It really struck me as it's going to be a very hokey film. I thought it was beautifully lit and beautifully shot. That's a baseline for a Christopher Nolan film. A bit flat. The dialogue in it was awful. Absolutely atrocious dialogue. Very, actually, even in these short bursts from the trailer, the interactions between the characters were actually cringe-inducing. So I don't have a lot of hope for this film. I would be amazed if I end up giving it more than a 6 out of 10 when it finally releases. It's probably the biggest release this side of the full-blown Avengers film over the next 2 years. I think it's coming out quite soon, actually. It looks like a really populist, hokey version of The Tale, and it's actually looking a lot closer to Gladiator 2 than Gladiator 1, and nowhere near something like Troy. So based on the trailer, I think the Odyssey is going to be lucky to get 6 out of 10, sadly.